And note one. This one we're going to audit through only. Audit through. I'm not going to do this. So on the 1st of July, beginning of the year, Triple acquired 80% of equity share of Chorus for consideration of 682. The consideration comprised of 618. Transfer of non-depreciable land with a fair value of 64. You pay 618 and you transfer your asset of 64 fair value to acquire 80% of the company share. Subsidiary. The carrying amount of the land at the date of acquisition was 60. At the end of the year, this asset was still included in the non-current asset of Triple. Therefore, the corresponding entry has been credited to the profit and loss. Okay? What is this? Understand? Let's go through first. At the date of acquisition, the identifiable net asset of Horus had a fair value of 604, whereby the retained earning is 90 and the OCE is 30. Excess is because of the non-depreciable land. The acquisition was counted for using partial goodwill method. Just now was full goodwill, now it's partial. In other words, this is proportionate method. Proportionate. Goodwill was impairment tested and the recoverable amount is 726. And number 3 is related to the factory. Now, before we continue, give you an idea first. If I have an asset PPE, one and only asset PPE 50, I sold the whole thing, I sold it for 58. I put it here, I sold it for 58. And the only entry I record is debit tax and credit to profit, means my income. Gain on disposal 58. Is this correct? Is this correct? Okay, my carrying amount is 50, I sold it for 58. And actually make how much? We know we make 8. Okay, right? However, what happened is, when I record the receipt for 58, I debit back and I credit as my income. Gain on disposal. Here, it's wrong. So what is my entry to correct this error? Huh? PPE. How? Credit PPE, right? I need to credit my PPE. How much? Yeah, because I already sold one and only asset, it has to be taken out. Credit PPE. Debit? Sorry? Gain on disposal, right? So I need to minus out gain on disposal. Okay, this is my profit. SPL. In other words, I'm going to debit out my SPL. Am I reducing profit or increasing my profit? I'm reducing my profit by 50. Can you see? So credit out my PPE, so my PPE will reduce. And then when I debit P&L, means I'm reducing my profit. So reduce my profit, hence it's going to affect my retained earnings. Okay, so this is the correct entry. Yeah. Yeah, I just have to reverse out 50. You can see here, I make a gain of SPL, gain of 58 by doing a gain of 8 already. So reverse out 50. Debit gain of disposal, which is debit SPL. PP balance now? 0. My PP balance after adjustment becomes 0. Lower. Okay? Becomes lower. Next concept will be I purchase a shopping complex. I purchase a shopping complex for 100 million. Okay, so this shopping complex, we know it comprises of the building, and in the shopping complex we have elevator, we have lift, we have many other assets. So this asset here, 100 million, the building has got 50 years of useful life. Do I divide by 50 and depreciate every year by 2? Answer is no, because we have to know this is an example of a complex asset. Complex asset means this, when I purchase 100 million, it comprises of the building, it comprises of the elevator. Okay, so let's say these two. Of course, you can have other assets whereby you can separately identify. So let's say now the elevator is actually from the estimation here, I know it's about 5 million. That left the building with 95. And the building got 50 years useful life, so we're going to divide by 50. However, the elevator only has got 10 years. So are we going to depreciate over 10 years? Yes. So you have to split between the building and the elevator. Of course, you got other assets, you must assign the value, and you have to depreciate accordingly. So the depreciation will be 1.9. This one will be 0.5. So our depreciation will be 2.4. Okay? You don't take 100 million and divide and then you depreciate 2. Cannot? So we call this a complex asset, shopping complex. There are other assets, for example, airplane. Okay, I buy the airplane for 100 million. Of course, the airplane consists of engine. Engine will have 10 years useful life. The cabin is the seats, everything will have 5 years useful life. Cannot? So you have to split complex assets. Okay. So we have two concepts here. One is when you sell, but you haven't recorded the disposal yet, you straight go to income. And this is an adjustment. And we have a complex asset, you have to split them and depreciate accordingly. So if we apply this concept here to number 3, or number 3 we skip first, we look at the goodwill, and it's proportionate. We're going to audit the answer here. Okay, you tell me here, what is the consideration transfer? Based on this format, what's the consideration transfer? It will be 618 plus 64. So is it 680? 682, sorry. There, here, 682. Plus non-controlling interest. But this time around, it's not a fair value. It's based on proportionate. So do we have to get this first? Then only times we own 80%. So what is the ordinary share cap? The ordinary share cap is 39. What about to the retain? The retain is 90. And the OCE is 30. Any difference will be the non-depreciable land. So anyway, we have the 604. Let's audit the answer here. 682. This one NCI will be later. We have 3903X, and this is also given. Therefore, balancing figure will be 94. Okay? This 94, always remember when you have 94 here, immediately you go and add to here fair value adjustment 94. 604 transfer to here. Times 20% NCI, we call this their portion is 20% of here. So it's 120. So 802 minus 604, 198. This one belongs to who? Only parent. P only, because it's proportionate. Okay? Okay. Then that land okay. Let's go through this one again. I pay 618. I pay 618 as well as I transfer a piece of land with a fair value of 64. Market value is 64. The carrying amount of the land at the date of acquisition was 60. At the end, year end, this asset is still included in the non-current asset. Means you haven't taken it out, the 60 or the 64. 60 or 64 haven't taken out. 60. The 60 yet to be taken out from the non-current asset. Therefore, the corresponding entry has been credited to the P&L. Meaning you have debited the investment because I buy, I increase my investment, right? So debit investment, and I credited to gain 64, which is wrong. Okay, credited to the P&L. So what must I do to adjust correct this entry? I must debit my gain, which is my P&L, and I credit out my PPE. Credit out my PPE here. Because I haven't taken out, so I need to minus out 60. So we look at the model answer. Okay, if you this one is just for reference only. Your answer should actually be here only. Or if this one is an explanation, hence your correction. Okay, so debit my P&L to reduce my profit and reduce my asset. Okay, it should be this way. Debit my investment, credit my cash, hence credit my money is wrong. This has been corrected, and this should be the way. Wrong treatment, correct treatment to show you the difference and the market. So your exam is just put it down. Okay, so continue. Now that I have debited my P&L, means I reduce my profit. So I have to adjust my retained earnings. Parent or subsidy? Parent, because parent sold this asset. When I took over, I transfer my asset parent. So you look at the retained earning, minus 60 from the parent. They have recognized 64, but they should be recognizing only 4. So reverse up the 60. Okay? Debit. Continue. Note 3. Note 2 is impairment, we do it later. Note 3. Trippen acquired a new factory on 1st July 2015, 2015. We are now in 2016 June, so beginning of the year. The cost of the factory is 40 million factory, and it has got a residual value, means it can be sold for 4 million after the useful life. The factory has got a flat roof, which needs replacing every 5 years. Factory with a roof, and the roof needs replacement every 5 years. The cost of the roof is about 6 million. The useful life of the factory is 25 years. No depreciation has been charged for the year, and Triple wishes to account for the factory and the roof as a single asset and depreciate the whole factory over the economic life. Triple use straight line method. No depreciation has been charged, and they wish to account the factory and the roof as one entity. So we apply the shopping complex concept here. So if the director wish to apply the shopping complex as in the building as well as the elevator and other assets as one, can they do that? Single asset and depreciate over 20 years everything? Cannot. IS 16 says we have to, if we can identify separately, we have to separate them by the value and depreciate accordingly. Cannot just like the shopping complex, the building and the elevator. So over here, I have 40 million, and we know the roof is 6 million. Meaning, the factory itself is 34, and the roof is 6. Correct. 34 and 6. This is for the roof. Meaning the balance 34 is for the building, the factory. So for the roof, 6 million for the roof, how many years you going to depreciate? 5 years. For the factory, 25 years. But can you see here, you have a residual value of 4. So you must take 34 minus 4 residual, which is 30. You're going to divide by 25. So if you look at the working here, we split into 34 and 6. 34 is for the building, roof will be 6. Whereas for the building, we're going to depreciate 34 minus 4 residual, divide by 25. Whereas for the building, we divide by 5. So this is my depreciation. Is it going to affect my profit? Yes. So 2.4, reduce your retained earnings. 2.4 depreciation haven't depreciated yet, so we're going to adjust for the 2.4. Here. Depreciation charge 2.4, reduce my profit. And my PPE, this is a fair value. This is for the land. This one is the depreciation 2.4 minus of course for console you don't have to worry about 2.4 because our working is always standard plus something is adjusted. Okay. Of course 2.4 minus 50 minus standard plus something and that's the cost of the given of that. Clear? And last one. Now, it is important now to look at the goodwill, the treatment will be different. The difference between question 1 and 2. Question 1 is on fair value. Goodwill belongs to both. Question 1. Okay. Question 2 is on proportionate. Now, before we look at this one, we look at the working to calculate impairment. Is your net asset at the year end of subsidy 2158 with plus fair value, we straight away plus the goodwill. So later we have a difference here. It is proportionate. Okay, we know this goodwill belongs to parent and NCI. Therefore, when we have an impairment of 50, we have to share 80% to parent and 20% to NCI. Yeah, we split. Sorry, this one will be 90% and 10. Because after the acquisition, right? $90 and $10. But now, let's see the working here. Here. Proportionate. Goodwill has been impairment tested and the recoverable is 726. At the end of the year, we have to compare carrying amount versus recoverable amount, correct? Carrying amount and recoverable amount. So recoverable amount given in the notes, we need to know the carrying amount of the subsidiary at the year end, because we impairment test, we test for the impairment at the year end. So it is 604.0. How to get? Given here is year end. So this is the net asset at year end. Okay, and when we took over, is there any fair value adjustment for this company? Yes, we have 194. So net 94. After that, must we add goodwill? Yeah, because when the parents take over, their net asset is being up, their value is higher. So we add 94, we add goodwill. Now, the difference here is the goodwill. This goodwill belongs only to the parent. Means how many percent is the parent here? How many percent? 80. Okay. This is subsidiary. And we are taking 604 plus 94 plus goodwill. Question. This is the whole thing subsidiary. Is this 100%? I'm not saying how much I own. This is my book. All my assets, all my liability, all my equity. This subsidiaries, all the assets, all the liability, all the equity, is it 100%? Yes, all. So this is 100%, 604. Plus 94, plus goodwill. And the goodwill is only the parent's portion, which is only our 80% portion. So we have to convert to 100%. Here. The whole of subsidiary asset we know is 100%. Fair value adjustment 100%. And the goodwill, only the parent's portion 198. If 198.8 is 80%. 100% will be how much? We call this regrossing. We regross to 100%. It's 2.8. Because if 198 is 80, you divide 80, you times 100. 198 divide 80 times 100. Times 100 divide 80. So this is now 100%. So this is the carrying amount of the subsidy at 100%. And as per note 3, they say the carrying amount or the recoverable amount is 726.5. So carrying amount 94. Recoverable amount 72. So that is an impairment here. Is it okay? Now, this is the impairment of goodwill 220, and we are using proportionate. Means we want only our portion. How many portion? How many percent is my portion? 80%. Not more than 100%. I want only 80%. 220 times 80%. This is impairment charge to who? Parent only. No need to share. So go to retain earning. Reduce your profit. 176. Can you see impairment here? 176. All parent. Don't share 80-20 here. Done. That's it lah. Question 2. You okay? So question 1. Of course, question 1 you go back practice is it has what? Question 1 has what? Impairment is the fair value. Share hold. There's an accusation of 10%. So we have to acquire 10% transaction between the owner and just registry. Then only we impact. Do we have to adjust for the fair value? Question 1. No need. Because the one belongs to parent and resident. Everything here. So after the movie impairment, we check 90 and 10. This one can question 2 because it's for order. Because we withdraw 210. Because 1700 we don't need to withdraw 200 or 10. So when it's in 10, we will check. We will take our wallet. Okay. Question 3. Your homework. So for those who haven't done, you still owe me from last week 2 questions. This week 3 questions. Then question 1, question 2, question 3. If you ask me, I will try question 1 first. I will redo one more time. I will redo question 2 one more time. So if you got no time to do question 3, you keep it for next week. Okay, so practice 1 and practice question 2 first. So understand the concept first. Okay. We have how long more? 25 minutes. Are we going to start? Yes. Huh? Just wait. Why? No. Huh? We discuss now. Okay. Okay. Question 3 we quickly go through because a lot of things are repeated one. Goodwill impairment. I'll show you. There's one question here on deferred consideration. Remember the deferred consideration. Deferred consideration. Okay. Concept on deferred consideration. I acquire my subsidy. I pay cash 1,000. Deferred consideration, I agree to pay 220. Sorry, not now. Deferred consideration 220 is here. So what is my consideration transfer? Let's say it's 10%. Discount rate is 10%. So what is my consideration transfer? I have cash of 1,000 and deferred consideration will be 220 divided by 1.1 power by 1. So it will be 200. Understand? So what do I do with this 200? 1 year later, what must I do? I need to unwind. Okay, unwinding of the discount, which is 10% of this 200. So 10% of this 200 means add 20. So what's the double entry for this 20? It's a finance cost. Debit finance cost, credit deferred consideration is a liability. So I'm going to have a liability of 220 at the end of the year. And there's a finance cost of 20, which will affect my retained earnings. Yeah, expenses, right? Finance cost, profit down. Okay, so this question, we do have a deferred consideration. So affect your finance cost, affect your liability. Of course, your goodwill also. Okay. Required. This question has got 2 subsidies. Your midterm will have 2 subsidies. Prepare console for Pilan Group, 30th June. Number 1. 1st July, beginning of the year, Pilan acquired 70% equity in Just. Pilan buys 70% of Just. For purchase consideration, at the day of acquisition, the fair value of identified asset is 280.5. Retained earning of Just 89, component 78. Nothing different from what we have learned earlier. Okay. The excess is due to a land, yeah, similar. Fair value NCI is 118 and the company wishes to use full method. Okay. On 30th June, Pilan acquired a further 10% in Just for cash consideration of 420. So 70 and then we plus 80 at the plus 10 at the end of the year. So all we have to do is to calculate all the retained earning NCI until the year end. We just have to adjust for the 10%. Any gain or loss or any difference, we don't call it gain or loss, any differences will be adjusted to the balance sheet. Is it okay? So this one we can skip to calculate the goodwill, easier. Next one. On the 1st of July, Pilan acquired 70% of equity interest in Dually for consideration of 1623. Yeah, 1623. How many percent again? 70. The consideration comprised of 1431. I thought it's 1623. So they say cash is 1431. And the deferred consideration on 1st July, which I'm going to pay 1 year later, at 211.2. The cost of capital is 10%. So what must I do with this 2112? I need to discount. So 1431, and I'm going to pay 211.2. So I'm going to discount 10%. What is the value here? Sorry, 192. So it will be 192. Can you add up the consideration transfer? 1431 and today's price 192. It's 1623. So can you see here 1623? Okay, so the consideration comprised of cash and deferred consideration. Must I unwind at 10%? Yes. Plus how much? 19.2. So I need to unwind 10% of the 192. 192 will be 19.2, 10%. This one charged to finance cost and as well as my liability here. So it will affect my retained earnings. You okay? So let's check our retained earnings. Can you see here retained earning of Pilan? Is it okay? Retained earning This is the deferred consideration. And I have a liability of 212, right? Liability 212, it will affect my console. There. I already put there 212. And I give a name there deferred. So easier for you to refer lah. After the unwinding. Okay? Continue. At the date of acquisition, note 2, the identifiable net asset and dually had a fair value of 155, including contingent liability of 20, retained earnings 27, and other component. Okay, this one we're going to do. Yeah. So consideration transfer, we have cash. We have deferred consideration. How much is the cash? 1431. And the 211.2 is half by 1.1 is 192. Okay, and the moment you do this, then just remember to unwind and then adjust your interest in it and adjust in your okay. Now, and the acquisition identifies as a subsidiary dwelling at a fair value of 1558. 1558. This is the fair value of 1500 including contingent liability. First time you see it. When I took over subsidiary has got a contingent liability. And you know subsidiary contingent liability is just a disclosure. But do we recognize the liability in our booking? Subsidiary account is a contingent liability. Subsidiary is just a disclosure. So by account calculation of booking, do I recognize it as the group liability? Yes, the standard says okay. So it's a contingent liability. Of 20, the liability. What's the share capital? Retained earning is 27. Other component is 72. Share capital of dually is 1170. Okay, the excess of fair value is due to a non-depreciable net. So this plus this minus the difference is the fair value adjustment is the piece of net. How much? So adjust in your PPE. So adjust in PPE. This one will appear as a liability. Repeat. Add to your PPE. Because we recognize the liability, contingent liability recognized in our PPE calculation. So as a group, we're going to have another liability. 20. Continue, yeah. And the revised estimate of the liability is now 22. The day when I recognize the contingent liability is only 20. Yeah. Liability. At the year end, the contingent liability has become 22. Means my liability will increase by another 2 for group. So add another 2, time has extended. So how much is my booking? Fair value is given. Yeah. Fair value of idea. Other notes? Not given. Partial goodwill. Oh, partial goodwill. So the partial goodwill, so it's no longer valid. Right? This is 151 times with 20%. Partial goodwill. 47.4. And whatever is the goodwill. So we have unwinding of the discount 19.2 finance cost, unwinding at 10% unwind 19.2. We have a contingent liability increased by 2, so we have two expenses 19.2 and 2. 19.2, 2. It will affect our retained earning. Here, dually. Contingent liability of dually increased by 2, so adjust in dually. Not everything under parent. Okay? Because when you adjust here, dually is liability higher, adjust liability of dually will affect my CI. This is what you get. When it's lower, then you get lower. Okay? Can continue. Phelan acquired, number 3 is goodwill was impairment tested after additional acquisition that 10%. In just on 30th, the recoverable amount is 329 and also 21. So we know we have two subsidies. One subsidy use full goodwill. The other subsidy use proportionate. Correct? So what you're going to do with this goodwill for the first subsidy? Do we have to recross? No need. The second one, do we have to recross? Yes. Understand? So you can see the working here. This one, go back. Add fair value. Add goodwill. This one no need to recross. But the seller, the 550 of value, you have to recross to 100%. So this one is to recross. And then when you compare, you have an impairment to monthly share. Yeah, you're going to share between the parent and the NCI after the additional case. This one here, you take only a portion of 70%. This one will share. So you put that here. This one have to share parent and NCI. This one no need everything all parent. Conceptually okay, right? Practice. Practice. And next one. Phelan acquired note 4. Phelan acquired a new building on the very first day of the year. The cost of the building is 100,000. Useful economic life is 20. No depreciation has been charged, so we're going to charge depreciation. And for the year, and at the end, the building is assessed to have a fair value of 91. So your cost is 100 depreciation to be charged this year is 5. I left with 95, but my fair value is 91. There's an impairment of impairment of 4, correct? Depreciation 5. No depreciation has been charged, so we will charge depreciation. After depreciation, we know the tax amount is 95. The challenge is only left with 91. So we will impair the 4. By 4. So 4 will be charged to depreciation. My asset will reduce. Asset reduce, asset reduce. Both will charge to here. So you will look at the console here. You minus the depreciation, you minus the impairment. That's why you minus 9. This is the parent, this is the subsidiary, and this is also the subsidiary. This is the fair value adjustment. 96. For both. We have 166 here. Another 30 for the other subsidiary. Okay. Look at the retained earning. Depreciation, the 1 year that we are going to charge, and the impairment, both charged to parent. Both are parent assets. We look at NCI. In your exam, if you have 2 subsidiaries, sometimes you want to treat side by side very difficult. One itself is very difficult. Okay, so you can treat subsidiary number 1 here, subsidiary number 2. So if you are okay, then you can treat side by side. So if as usual, take 30%, 30%, 30% for retained and for I took additional 10%, right? It was 30%. I took over another 10%. So I minus out 10%. So basically this one is divided by 3. This is 30%. I took over another 10% the transaction is $3. So divide by 3. So 30%. 10% will be 4. 10%. 1323.6 is 30. So divide by 30 times 10. How much did I pay for this 10%? How much do I pay for the 10%? 420. I pay less. I'm acquiring for 10%, and I pay only 420. So I actually take a gain. So are we going to increase our return? Yes. Are we going to plus? Double entry. Where is it? Do we have working for this? Where? Here, working 10. Credit 420. I reduce the NCI and I pay only 420. I pay less. So it is something like an income to the parent. So I'm going to credit to the parent up. So credit 212. Yeah. 1 and 2. A lot of them are so that's why my suggestion is practice question 1 in question 2 first, then only you practice. I repeat that. If you look at question 3, many of them will be found in question 1 and 2. Especially on the impairment, one is full value, one is common value. The only difference in question 3 is you have multiplication as well as inverse multiplication. Otherwise, everything is same. Alright? Done?